Skip the red light district of Amsterdam. This is the Holland we came here for. Netherlands for kids. Windmills and wooden shoes. So much chocolate they have to deliver it by riverboat. 550-year-old churches, quaint town squares, beautiful sandy North Sea beaches where kids can frolic in the foam, and with none of the crowds and chaos of that big city just a few miles away. Forget about Amsterdam. If you're traveling to the Netherlands, this is the place you should be visiting, and we'll take you there in this episode of Window Seat. The first thing to do when you visit Amsterdam is to get the hell out of Amsterdam. Just kidding, kind of. I mean, look, it's a lovely historic city, and we found plenty of things to do with our kids here, as we showed you in last week's episode of Window Seat, which you can check out right now. We have a description in the link below and right up there in the corner of the screen, too. But it is a very grown-up big city, and we wanted to experience something a little different, so we hit the train station. Destination, Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. No, serious, this is a chocolate city. That right there is chocolate being transported by boat out of town. The entire place smells of sweet, heavenly chocolate. We'll explain why in just a minute. But first, would you just look at that? The old windmills sticking up out of the tall grass, the farm animals, the fowl, the tourist shops and restaurants. We have arrived squarely in the most stereotypical Dutch town you could ever imagine, and we are loving it. This is the truly magical village of Zaanse Schans. The town is the absolute opposite of Amsterdam, just a few miles outside of town, and here you are surrounded by quiet and calm, these beautiful old chalets and the windmills that just evoke such great images of old Holland. It's really something. 2 million people come here every year to experience its rustic charm and old-world feel. The village is a collection of wooden houses that were relocated here from all over the region to give people a taste of what living here used to be like. Here you'll experience a bunch of old museums, gift shops, even an old-style cheese shop where they've been producing cheese for more than 50 years, and they export it all over the world, and all varieties, from cow and sheep and goat to lavender, and you can sample it, which is awesome. Everything around here is designed and purposely placed here to preserve the history and unique architecture of Holland. And from the gimmicky wooden clogs to the artery-clogging treats, it works. If you can stand remotely touristy places, Zaanse Schans is perfect for you. Just a couple of reminders. Beware of pickpockets. They are no strangers to this place, just as in nearby Amsterdam. And get here early. Word of warning, as the day goes on, the crowds get bigger. It's definitely a tourist hotspot. And the crowds pick up in the afternoon, so plan your trip around that. If you get here early in the morning, you're going to miss most of the big crowds. As we see a slew of selfie takers lining up for the perfect pose, it suddenly becomes clear why. That stunning backdrop of old windmills off in the distance. This is everything that comes to mind when you think of Holland. Straight out of the 18th century, the wooden windmills rise up out of the tall grass, just as they did hundreds of years ago. Just one thing, this village, it turns out, was artificially created. Like the houses, they were moved here between 1961 and 1974 for preservation's sake and to help draw crowds, which they certainly do. Some 1,000 windmills used to stand in this region, but these days right here, just 12 remain. As you navigate the old buildings, move through the throngs of tourists, and take in the sights, it becomes sensory overload, and your nose knows something is up in a good way. Here's the thing, it's not just the sights in this cool town that really draw you in, it's the smells too. The minute you step off the train, you notice this sweet aroma filling the air almost all over town. You wonder what it is, and then you realize there's a chocolate factory nearby, and it is pumping out gallons of chocolate by the minute and shipping it off around the world. This smell must be what Willy Wonka's neighborhood smells like. Seriously, the smell in this town is absolute heaven.
As far back as 1840, windmills in the Zaanse region were processing cocoa beans. Starting in 1860, steam engines boosted the production options. The founder of the enormous factory in 1911 and this street started with windmills that process cocoa products. The region around the Zaanse River has since hosted one of the largest cocoa processing industries in the world.
Turns out the town is home to 2 chocolate and biscuit companies, an industry that started here in the early 1600s. Seems they mastered a process called Dutching here. It's a way of reducing the bitter taste of chocolate. And nowadays they make so much chocolate it has to be shipped out by boat, and the smell is so enticing it had us making a beeline for the nearest candy shop to get a taste of what truly makes this town so sweet.
Good day, sir! I said good day!
After exiting Amsterdam for one day, we decided another field trip with the kids was in order, so we headed back the next day to Central Train Station, bound for the beach. Who knew less than an hour outside of Amsterdam is a playground on the North Sea, one of the most enjoyed resort towns in the entire country, a place called Zandvoort aan Zee.
The train ride from central Amsterdam was quick and easy out here to Zandvoort, well under an hour. Probably cost about $50 US round trip for a family of 4, so really pretty manageable and a great way to get out of the city and kind of explore the countryside, at least for one afternoon.
There is something jaw-dropping arriving at a train station that dates back to 1881 in a fishing town that dates back to the year 1100. This place is centuries old and has been luring locals and tourists from the big city for eons. And if you have kids who are sick of museums and tour groups and traffic, this is the perfect place to play. And the cost, absolutely free.
It is cold, it's gray, it's windy, definitely not ideal beach conditions, but still worth the trip to get on that train, get out of the city, come to the shore, and see what the Netherlands beaches are like. And they're actually pretty cool. I'm sure on a great weather day, this is going to be a very popular spot, especially in the summer as people look for a place to cool off. For now, though, it's great for dipping your toes, surfing if you have a bodysuit, and definitely flying a kite.
Despite the weather, we saw a slew of people walking, sightseeing, taking part in water sports. There are surf lessons here for kids. And a private excursion, too. This company teaches kids about the elements, food, sustainability, and the history of the area. We'll put a link to them in the description below. We did not hop on board the makeshift pirate-covered wagon, but it looked like all the kids on board were having a great time. Like any beach town, there are gift shops and restaurants. If you're headed this way, bring some change. The toilets are often pay toilets, and like most beach towns, the buildings and businesses seem a little worse for wear. But believe me, a day out here, even in windy, cloudy conditions, is still worth it. On the train ride back to Amsterdam, we make one last stop in the highly recommended tiny town of Haarlem. A town of 160,000 people in North Holland, technically a suburb of Amsterdam, but it still feels a world away. You'd never know it from the thriving town that sits here right now, but Haarlem was almost wiped out by Black Death, not once, but twice. Commonly known as the plague, it ravaged this place with 2 outbreaks, first in 1381 and again in 1657. The first time, it killed half the city's population. Older than Amsterdam, older than Rotterdam, and different in so many ways.
It is an idyllic little town. It's about 180 degrees from what you would find inside Amsterdam. It's quiet, it's calm. Bikes everywhere. Nobody bothers to lock them up because there's no crime, and it is gorgeous.
Perhaps no single building in this town is as gorgeous as the world-famous Grote Kerk, or Big Church. With its 250-foot spires looming large over the city, it stands out, outside and in, just as it has for hundreds of years.
Construction on this church started all the way back in the year 1370. It's hard to fathom a building this old. Certainly there's nothing in America even close to this age, and it is still gorgeous.
Your eye may be drawn to the ornate front of the church or that stunning ceiling up there too, but don't ignore what's beneath your feet. Hundreds of church members are entombed underneath the floor. The floors are covered with graves and grave markers. Church rolls hanging on the wall list their names and their burial dates.
A tour of the church costs about €2 per person, but it's money well spent. Whole family's going to enjoy it, and there's fascinating history dating back hundreds of years.
Outside on the bicycle-covered streets of Haarlem, you'll find a quaint and quiet town with its past well-preserved, but also modern enough for your kids to get a kick out of. And while there's plenty of local food and fare to indulge in, we did notice something.
If there's one complaint, it's almost too American. A lot of the same shops that you see back home, a lot of the same restaurants, of course, and even the local restaurants tend to cater to American tourists. You see a lot of burger and fry joints and not a whole lot of restaurants serving local fare. I guess it's a testament to how many Americans come here every year because it's such a popular tourist destination.
After an afternoon enjoying this Renaissance-era village, it was easy to see why some families opt to skip the big city altogether. If you're looking for an inexpensive way for your kids to get a glimpse of more traditional life in the Netherlands, the idyllic life that we've all seen on postcards and in the movies, with windmills and wooden shoes, beaches and beautiful buildings, instead of the adult stores and red light districts that this country is also well known for, it turns out you don't have to travel far to find all of that and more.
So there you have it, a very different experience in the Netherlands than the one so many other people get when they only go to Amsterdam. If you get on a train, get just a few minutes outside of town, you're going to experience this. Pretty cool. I'm Jeremy Hubbard. That's it for this episode of Window Seat. We'll see you right back here next week.
In the meantime, be sure to hit like and share and leave a comment if there's somewhere else you think we should visit with or without kids. We are on a quest to visit every country on the planet, and we are well over 70 countries so far. We'd love it if you hit subscribe too, so you can follow our adventures and learn some globetrotting tips all along the way. We'll see you next week. Meantime, be sure to check out one of these other episodes from Window Seat.